Hi everyone, it's WOWZERZ, and today we're going to do something different. It's been forever since I last uploaded a Speedpaint, which is yikes, but I wanted to draw and talk about Spider-Verse because wow, that movie was fantastic. As you can tell, I kind of went right into the line art in this video, because I unfortunately lost the footage of my sketch process, and I was not going to attempt to get that back. Also, before we start, I wanted to give a spoilers warning to anyone who hasn't seen the movie. I will be talking about my thoughts on the movie and discussing on what parts I did find interesting, so if you haven't seen Across the Spider-Verse yet, I seriously recommend watching it before watching this if you don't want spoilers. Alrighty, let's hop in. First things first, holy crap the animation. I already knew I was going to be walking into an amazing movie, but I was not expecting to be that blown away with it. It was so unique and jaw-dropping, it made me want to sit there and analyze every frame as I watched it. Apparently the movie had over 1,000 artists working on it, which is insane on its own, but also the techniques and effort put into the behind the scenes were absolutely amazing to hear about. I remember hearing about how the Vulture in the beginning of the movie had over 200 rigs flown, and Hobie having everything animated on separate timings, and that totally paid off in the final look. Besides the technical aspect of the movie, I absolutely adored the dozens of art styles and color schemes the movie used. It's like every pixel was used to make the movie perfect. I love how much care they put into making the styles diverse and recognizable to their sources, like how the 1960s Spider-Man was just his 4 frames, and the care and detail that they put into the different designs. Like for example, one of my favorite spiders introduced yet, Pav, his design was heavily researched and it put in dozens of references and cultural significant markings and features to various Indian cultures, and his swinging style was based off a 2,000-year-old fighting style in India. Speaking of styles, I was initially going to attempt to do the Spider-Punk art style for Hobie, but I unfortunately was unable to replicate it off canvas and decided not to go with it, and I don't know, I just went with my typical style. Also, while we're not on discussion topic, I was originally going to add Hobie's suspenders, but I decided not to overdo details on him due to how much he already had going on compared to Miles and Gwen. You'll see that I was trying it and erasing in the recording, but yeah. I typically wait until after my flat colors are done, but I had a very specific look I was going for this time around and I wanted to make sure I got down right away. I only have 2 bad things to talk about for Spider-Verse, and honestly, they're not even issues. I personally think besides the 2099 theme, none of the soundtrack truly stood out in Across, but for a movie that's so dense and plot and obviously more focused on the art of the film, that's totally understandable. My only other complaint is that I was so upset to learn that I've only watched one version of the movie, so I did miss out on the dozens of alterations the other release of Across had, and honestly, I just hope that when it gets released on DVD or something, it gives a commentary section or bonus content with all the different versions collaged or discussed, if that makes sense. One thing I'm really happy about as a trans person myself is the color symbolism the Spider-Man metaphors used to discuss Gwen as a trans girl. The movie did a wonderful job at explaining her relationship with her dad and her identity, and using the tension and hostility between Spider-Woman and the police to discuss the acceptance of identity and the struggles with having harmful ideologies towards the queer kids. This movie did a wonderful job at showing and not telling with this subject, which is really refreshing to see, especially when topics like these are typically brought up with piss poor handling. To any of my fellow queers or trans gamers, I hope you all had a safe and fun Pride Month. I was hoping to get this video out during June, as I'm writing this. I don't think I will, but oh well. Overall, I think my favorite part of the movie was its constant recurring themes and its use of referencing the first movie. Whether it's the fact that Spot's literal origin story was caused by Miles being bit and getting a bagel thrown at him, the visuals of Spot during the movie being eerily familiar to Miles' expectations art, or even the in-joke of Miguel pointing at Spider-Man after the credits, which happened to play into the massive plot point of the movie. Speaking of which, let's talk Spider Society. I'm gonna be quite honest that this was the biggest worry of mine when watching the movie, and I think that's totally understandable. I mean, look at the multiverse movies that Big Box Office has produced so far. But I was surprised that their use of it worked so well and benefited the movie's theme so well. The battle of making sure so-called canon events occur and anomalies don't in itself is a neat concept I've only seen very few works that are mainly fan pieces do. But the structure of Spider Society is something that really sets up the foundation of the discussion in the film of grief occurring to former generations and the enforcement of the belief of this is how things work, almost acting like a law, all while younger generations are becoming louder with the words, things don't have to work like this. It's an interesting battle that I'm really excited to see get explored more and beyond. This movie's handling of its themes are absolutely stunning, and it's making me very aware of how much we've missed out on art like this in mainstream till now. Just a heads up, a slight flash warning for the upcoming part. I was attempting to make my colors look more cohesive with gradient maps, and as you can tell I just started playing around with it, but it does have some flashing lights, so I'll have a timestamp marked for the final reveal piece if anyone needs to skip ahead to avoid flashing colors. But here's the final piece. Let me know if you guys liked it. You can find it on my other socials, which will be linked in the description. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you guys liked the video. I was hoping to get another speed paint like this out in the next month, so keep an eye out. If you guys want to see more from me more often, feel free to follow my socials or support me on Ko-fi. I hope any artists participating in Art Fight have a fun July. Stay safe out there, gamers. Bye!